like we had mentioned, like really, truly, genuinely visualizing yourself in that space is so, so important. If you feel like you have to force yourself to visualize yourself in a certain space or in a goal that you might have for yourself, then it probably isn't a genuine, authentic, feeling or goal or vision. So I'm kind of going along with what Dylan is saying. I think along with that, and kind of as people go on into their journeys, or as people try to pursue what they're trying to pursue, really maintaining a genuineness to yourself and not becoming some conformist that feels like they may have to speed up the process by becoming more like somebody else, or sounding more like somebody else, or looking more like somebody else.
Over-sexualizing yourself.
It's like, do what you're comfortable with genuinely, and create that image, that voice, that whatever it is for yourself, and let that carry you. And being patient, I think, is a huge, 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 huge part of success. Because I think people, when there's not instant gratification, or when there's not this instant progress that they can see right away, they start to falter. And I can say that because I've had that happen to myself. I'm definitely somebody that likes instant gratification in everything that I do. And so it's so difficult when you kind of have to sit back and realize it's a very gradual process. And I feel like in order for it to manifest in the most beautiful way, without there being any holes or flaws I kind of look at it like a house. You're building a house. And if you rush and build some house of sticks, if any adversity comes your way, or if anything tries to come and stumble it and push it over, it's going to be able to flick that thing and it's going to come crashing down. But if you actually genuinely take the time to build your house and lay the foundation and make sure it's a sturdy home, you're going to be able to get through those trying times, and you're going to still maintain that house. Now, the trying times are going to suck, and you might have to do a little patch repair work on that thing. But at the same time, you're still going to have a sturdy foundation that holds you up. And so you're going to maintain the longevity of your success. That's how we feel. And that's why we continue to go about things the way we do, and being patient with everything.
Okay. You guys have a quote on Instagram. I don't know whose page I saw it on. But it said, "Don't let small minds convince you that your dreams are too big." So how do you guys keep the bad vibes out of your circle when you got everybody, coming at you and trying to be part of the team?
Right. Honestly, Dakota, she has like this little gift, we'll say.
Gifted.
She's just gifted. Where she can, honestly, I call it picking out the weeds. Because if you really are truly searching for something, you can find it. So if somebody has bad intentions, or if they're not authentic or genuine, it's usually a lot easier than people like to think, to kind of feel that vibe out. Sometimes you have to go through lessons, and Dakota and I, and for me, I'm the person who likes to go through those lessons to where it's I'm either gonna gain a friend, or I'm gonna gain wisdom. So it's, for me, beneficial either way if I have to, get backstabbed or whatever it is, and that's just what it is, and that's just another experience that I can, I guess, just put on my belt. But I think that we just really try to keep our circle tight. And one of the things that we say, along with a lot of other things, is that we don't really have a lot of friends, just because people who are really in our circle are our family. That's how close we are. So we try to really keep it tight, really keep a close circle, just because we feel like that's another one of those things, you have to have good people around you. Because if you have people that have kind of those bad vibes, those negative thoughts or feelings or whatever it is, then it can potentially hurt you. And we don't judge people for anything that they want to do or aspire to. The only time that we kind of take a step back is when it's harming themselves or other people. And
that can be an array of things.
Yeah, that can be honestly an array of things.
I would say that for me, Dylan, I was kind of saying, she's a little more open and welcoming. I like to kind of view myself as the guard dog of the two of us, because I'm always peeping stuff. I'm always making sure I know what's going on. You ain't slick. I know.
Yeah.
So basically, and it is a humorous thing, but I'm also so serious when I say that, because I just, and there's definitely pros and cons to how I go about it. I'm not saying it's necessarily the way to do things or the right way to do it.
That's why I'm here.
But it's just my way, and it's how I've chosen to go about it, and it's what I'm comfortable with. And I will say that sometimes the people that are close to me, even my mom, will sometimes be like, Dakota, you could be missing out on like some really good friendships if you just keep closing everybody out like that. And the truth of the matter is, like Dylan said, I like to think I have this gift where I can just like tell who people are, like almost within instantly of me. Like I could, within like couple sentences of talking to this person, and I'm like, I feel like I know this like who this person is. And so my mom, she doesn't really have a lot of faith in that. So she's just like, how do you know? Like you can miss out on good friendships. And I said, at the end of the day, like we've been saying this whole time, it's kind of all about patience and timing. And if people are supposed to be in my life, they will be in my life. Whether even if it's not right now, maybe it's going to be later. But I just really believe that we've come this far doing what we do. And I don't want to change that up. I don't want to change up who I am. I don't mean that in a stubborn way. We're very receptive. If things need to change and there needs to be some sort of progress that needs to happen and we're at a dead spot, then we're very receptive to trying to figure out a new way and an innovative way to make that happen. But for the most part, morally and the values that we have for ourselves, I will never let those be compromised. And so when people try to come in the mix and try to have me compromise those morals in any kind of way, I will instantly not have anything to do with that person. And it doesn't matter to me if you're the most famous person in the world. It doesn't matter to me if you have the most money, the most followers, the most views on YouTube. I do not care. I do not look at people in those spaces and think, oh my gosh, they're just above the world because they have this. No, great job for you. Like honestly, genuinely, clap it up for you. Like that's amazing that you're able to figure out how to make that work for yourself. But at the end of the day, I don't see that as a defining something that defines somebody's character.
Justify anything for us.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, you can flash a million, designer bags in my face. And this is kind of a theme throughout everything in my life, my personal life, my love life. You can flash a million bags in my face. I'm not going to be impressed by it if I'm not impressed by who you are as a person. And so that's just kind of how we've chosen to go about everybody.
Weed them out.
Weed them out. And I'm very cutthroat with it. That's why people think I'm kind of mean.
Like hair is turning redder as you talk.
Gosh, I know. Just look at me getting all hot thinking about it. But it's just like, I'm pretty cutthroat. Like Dylan will be kind of nice and like, oh, whatever. And I'm nice at first. Look, guys, I'm nice
She said it first.
But once you're tested, like once you test me too much, then it's just like, okay, now I'm gonna let you know about yourself. This is why.
Dakota kind of has like a one strike policy.
I do. I really do.
I'm more of like, you get like 2 strikes, sometimes 3. It just really depends if I can see a genuine change in your actions. Otherwise, mine kind of wavers. But Dakota is like 1 strike.
Because the thing is, with Dylan, like we said, we've had different experiences. Because I've been very close off, I have not had as many experiences as Dylan has had.
So she's observed them, and
I have observed
pretty
them.
Judgmental. But it's
not judgmental, critical maybe.
Critical.
But Dylan is like, because she's had so many experiences and she's had to sort of learn about, herself, in a sense, she's able to relate more with people who make those mistakes.
Right. And it's not even like, because again, like a lot of people love to just like put words in our mouth. When I say experiences, I'm not even talking about like with men or like things like that. I'm just talking about like life experiences. Like I've struggled through depression. Like I've hit like very, very, very like low points that like we just haven't had those same like things that we go through. So that's kind of what we mean when we say experiences. I just feel like I have to clarify that just because people like to put words and stories in our mouth. So I don't mean like with men or things like that.
With men.
We're not those.
Some.
Yeah. Like some like with relationships and things like that. But we're really not those girls who like go around and sleep with everybody and this and that. That's just not who we are. It's not.
I'm a hypochondriac, so I think I'm gonna get every disease in the book.
Every disease.
So I'm like,
gonna get like pregnant with an alien. So we just steer away from that. So that's just kind of like for me, like because I literally said I've hit bottom. I believe everybody hits bottom at least one time in their life. You can definitely hit it more, but like at least once everybody hits bottom. And I definitely hit bottom at like a very early age. I was in high school. I was probably like 15 or 16. And you can choose to like continue to like look to the bottom. Like you can look at the ground and just stare at that cold concrete. or you can look back up and you just see things from a completely different perspective. And like one of my mottos for life is you can't fake experience. So like if you've never been to the bottom and you've never been able to look up and see things in a different light, then you're not going to really understand like what that's like, or you're not going to really be able to relate to people or their experiences. So I think that's kind of why I'm a little more open about things and things like that, just because I've had that experience. I've hit bottom. I chose to like turn myself around and look up and see what was going on. So I think, and for Dakota, like she has definitely been low. You know when you hit bottom, so I don't feel like she's necessarily hit her bottom. But that's why we kind of like differ in our perspectives a little bit, and kind of like how we are.
So people. Dylan, she'll kind of be like someone will do something like I actually get more offended when people hurt the people that I care about than if they hurt the people that like if they hurt me. Like if you try to hurt me, I'll be like, okay, I might actually really be hurt. I might not joke it off, but at the same time, I'm really not gonna be like, I'm not gonna hold on to it as much. Like I'll kind of like get over it eventually. But with like people that hurt my family or people that I really care about, like I will hold on to that and I will be like, I remember, you know. So it's a little like not great to do that because, like I said, Dylan's helping me be a better person in that sense of letting go of negativity. But it's hard for me because I care so much. Like I have such a big heart and I care so much. Like my thing is I kind of work on extremes. I either do not care at all, like I'm just like whatevs, like don't care, or I care so much. Like I care so much. So that's kind of like you get one or the other with me for the most part. But I'm a very caring, loving person. And because I care so deeply for those people, it hurts me to like another level. And so when I see the people that I love in pain or have to go through those things, it makes me build up that wall. And it makes me be like, you know what? We're going to keep all those people out then. We're not going to have anything to do with those. So when I start seeing signs that that could be happening, I'm like, boop, nope. Like I don't even give you another chance. It's like, if you mess it up, like I'll give you an opportunity. Look, you have this much of a window to work with, okay? And if I let you into my life, and I don't mean to say that in like there's some patriarchy or this hierarchy of like I'm better than you. That's not it at all. It's just a matter of this is how I'm choosing to protect myself and to protect the people that I care about. And so when people try to come into that space, it's like the fact that I'm even opening up the doors to let you into that space is a big step for me. Like I don't do that very often. Like I can be very cordial with everybody. Cool. Hi, how you doing? We don't have to have beef. Let's be cool. Let's have good times and vibe. But the minute that I do decide to open up those doors and let people in, and then they decide to come in and like shoot up the place, I have an issue with that. So I'm like, whoa, you know what? Now we're going to put up even more security and you ain't never getting back in this thing. Like absolutely not. So that's why I kind of go about it the way that I do. And some people are like, dang, Dakota, that's so cutthroat. And through my experiences, I've realized you have to be a little cutthroat because especially with this industry that we're trying to go into, I have seen things, I have experienced things that are like, you can be a nice person. You can be a good person. You can have great intentions, but you cannot let people walk all over you. And so I'm like, and my mama raised me that way, like be an independent woman and let them know, like, I'm here, I'm present. You're not going to walk over me. You're not going to just influence me to do something that I don't want to do. Like, no. So at the end of the day, like we stand very, very strong in that. So it's like, for me, like I am going to be a little cutthroat because I don't want people in my circle that think they can do that to me or that think, oh, I'm going to mess up and then I'm just going to forgive you and we're cool again. Like, absolutely not. That's just not how I operate. And it's not always the best way to do things. Like I said, Dylan's trying to help me. But at the same time, I'm not necessarily going to just change that completely because I just don't feel like I really need to. That's kind of stubborn to say. But I don't really feel like I need to change that because I feel like we have really good people in our mix.
No squares in the circle.
We have really good people in our mix. So it's like, it's kind of worked at the same time, you know, so it's hard for me to want to change something that's kind of worked, you know? Yeah, gosh, now I can breathe. Whew. I get so passionate. I'm sorry. I get like so into things.
I know. We go like this.
And then we bring it back home.
Those other interviews you've done.
They edited it.
They edited that.
Oh my God. But that's so funny. You know, I was just looking at you. Now, are those your real eyes?
Yeah.
What are they, gray or blue?
I think they changed. I had to ask somebody one time. I was like, they look a little blue, a little gray today.
Oh.
I think that looks blue because of my blue on right now, though.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering. I didn't know if they was contacts, but I didn't hear anybody say anything about it. I said, well, I think they're real. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I do actually wear like contacts though, because sometimes people get confused with that. And I'm like, yeah, it's
like,
weird.
you wear contacts? You're like, yeah. Oh, so that's not your eyes? Wait, yeah. Oh.
Yeah. No, literally, like we were actually just in the store the other day, and like this lady was like, we did a photo shoot, and they kind of edited my eyes a little funky, but it was like, that was cool. And like this lady said something about it. She's like, oh yeah, you got your contacts in, and I was just like, yeah. Like I just didn't even have the time. I was like, yeah, I do.
Right there.
So what's been the best story? You know, it seems like you guys are very, very present, you know, when people say and do things to you. So what sticks out the most as far as something that you've done to change somebody's life out of all the great things you guys have done?
Oh man,
nice.
honestly, it's thank you. It's really tough to say because for us, like every experience is like
a meaningful.
It's just a meaning. Like it could be like the smallest thing, like going to like the hospital to sing for somebody, or like showing up to somebody's birthday, you know what I mean? And just knowing that somebody wants us there to celebrate that time with them, which is like really honoring for us. It's like just anything little like that just can make somebody's day or like their year or like whatever it is. Like we will really go out of our way to like try to like help people, and sometimes I can bite you in the butt, but at the same time, like that's just kind of who we are. And I think that like some of the things, like we work with this foundation. They're actually called the Macau Foundation, and they pretty much work out of like Uganda and like different places in Africa. And for us, and they pretty much take like a whole bunch of supplies over to like these orphanages
that they built.
And it's like a baggie of things like toiletries and little snacks and like just a baggie for them to have for like the whole year. And I remember like I think they had like towels, like these little towels. And I was just like, oh, is this for them to like to bathe or whatever it is? Just like a naive question. And they said, no, that's for like the girls, for like their feminine like products. And I just remember being like, oh, like it just like broke my heart. So just like things like that, like we really just tried to like do anything we can. We even had, we did a mission trip one time in Peru where we had actually collected like thousands of shoes, because
500,000.
Yeah, well, thousands of shoes for these kids in like Peru, because a bunch of them, they actually have a problem down there where they get sick because they don't have any shoes, and they're running around in kind of like this muck, and they get all these open wounds and sores and get infections and die. And so we actually got like a big donation from like Crocs and like just like all these people who like were donating for us to go buy shoes, and we took like these like just tons, like thousands of bags of shoes out to Peru. It was honestly just life-changing experience. And the crazy thing is they like changed my life more than I feel like I changed their life, which is almost like selfish in like a reverse way, because I get like we get so much fulfillment from like doing these things for other people, helping them, being a part of charity events and like whatever it is. Like we're so like down to do it when people ask us to do stuff like that, because we just think it's amazing. And it's great to know that there are other people out there who really do want to make a change and who really do want to like, you know what I mean? Like help these people that are in prevailing circumstances.
Yeah, I would say that like basically like Dawn's saying, kind of every moment that we get to have where we feel like we get to just make someone happy even in that moment. I think happiness is so hard. It's such an easy thing to talk about. It's such a hard thing to really feel. Especially like nowadays with kind of just how the world is working right now. It's just such a hard thing to really feel. And so when people really feel that, and I get to kind of feel like I'm in that mix, it makes me happy. And then like, honestly, I would say one thing, like, and this is going to sound like I'm trying to be like a certain way, but I'm really not. I genuinely mean this. I think that for us, I think I can speak for you on this. Some of the most rewarding times are kind of the times like when we do work behind the scenes of like the Peru missions trip, or the Macau Foundation, or even we had local homes where we went and helped like build local homes in Pocatello. And it was like those kind of things for us are very rewarding, because we're not in it to be like, look at me, like, and
we don't want to do it to say we
and
did
to be honest, I think that's why we don't even really post about it on social media. Like, there will be times when I'm just so like overjoyed that I might put a little something, or like a little basketball clinic or something like that on there. But for the most part, we really don't put out, you know, all those little things that we're doing, because we really want to be invested in that moment.
We don't want it to
doing
be about that, I guess.
Exactly. And I don't want it to look like oh, here I am trying to be like the best citizen.
Here I am trying to be like freaking
because honestly, it's just not that at all for us. And so I feel like that's where we get the most out of it, is just the fact that like these are people who don't even know who we are. They don't even have social media. They don't, you know, they're not on iPhone 7s, and they just love the fact that we're even giving them attention, because they just want to be around other people. You know what I mean? And they're so happy, and it just makes you open up your eyes to be like, wow, here I am with so much, and I find myself in these little states of being sad. And it's like, these people, then there's these children who literally have grown up with nothing, or have grown up with diseases that, you know, and they're just so happy. They're just so happy to have you clean their feet and put a shoe on their foot. And it's just like, wow. I mean, it's just such, it's very liberating. And
nobody will ever really, and again, it's just one of those experience things, because I remember I was talking to like a friend about it or something, and he was just a little bit disconnected, just because he had never experienced something like that for himself. So it's really like, you know, simple to talk about it and be like, oh yeah, that sounds amazing, but to really feel it, I feel like you really have to kind of be there and go through it like firsthand to really understand it. It's kind of like when you watch those like super sad commercials, and like you get, like for me, I get sad when I watch it, but like you get sad when you watch it, but then like you turn the TV off and 10 minutes later it's like it never happened, you know? So it's just like things like that. I feel like you really have to kind of like see, like be there, see it, experience it firsthand to really kind of understand. And it really does make you look at your own life differently, for sure. And then it also for us is very motivating, because I'm just like, we want to do it. I think, again, part of like that ultimate vision we were kind of talking about is just like, we want to make people like happy, you know what I mean? And we want to like change a culture. And so like, it's just like those little things like that really motivate us to be like, man, like if we could just take this and be on like a different platform where we're reaching so many other people. And that's ultimately what we're trying to do. We're trying to get on a platform to where we can reach so many people, to where it can really, like, the masses can be changed and influenced and helped and made happy, or at least happier, even if it's for just a minute. At least they can know what that feels like.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Last question. Y'all taking over my show today. I said we probably gonna talk for like 20 minutes.
I was like,
hey, we talk about sorry.
We usually warn people. We forgot this time.
To warn you.
You forgot to warn me. Okay. Last question. So you guys have amazing bodies, and it's so funny because I have a bet with my boyfriend to get my abs for Cabo that I'm leaving for in a month. I'm a little behind, but
you can do it, girl.
But I want you to talk about, you know, the health aspect, like what keeps you guys healthy and why it's important for people, especially us young people, because we think we have all life, and I'm sure you guys have dealt with people or know people with cancer and things that, you know, due to bad eating. So what keeps you guys working out healthy and in the gym?
You know, I think that it started off with basketball, and so we're very grateful that kind of working hard in a physical craft definitely like kind of made that become a habit for us, because we just knew that was what we were gonna have to do.
I almost get like anxiety now when I'm not like, playing.
When I'm not playing, I get anxiety. But I think that that's kind of like where it started, and I think that for us, and gosh, I'm just like full of quotes. But here's another one for you. I literally am like a walking quote book, or like Dakota calls me a fortune cookie, just because I always just have these things to say. But for us, at the end of the day, regardless of what you want to do, you have to take care of your body for your body to take care of you. And so that's kind of one of the things that we run by, is because we ask so much of our bodies, of our, like mentally and physically and spiritually. So we have to take care of it. if you are kind of like choosing to not like take your health very seriously, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to pursue the things that you want to pursue or to be a part of things that are fun. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you don't have the energy to go hang out with your friends or go to the amusement park, it's not going to be fun anymore. And you're going to have like this little snooty attitude. So we feel like to really, I guess, like reap the benefits of what life has to offer, you have to take care of yourself.
I will say that, yeah, like that's a great kind of like mental space to get into, but kind of more on like the legitimate side of things of like eating or whatever it is. When it comes to, because like Dylan and I, we're all about trying to be happy, you know, and I'll tell you guys, I literally tried to diet. I went vegetarian for like 2 months and didn't drink any soda, only
Strictly
had water and tea.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
And like completely a vegetarian. And when I say that, it wasn't even like I was like, oh, I'm just not eating meat. Like I didn't eat any junk food. I was on a very specific like meal plan. And I could only eat like certain portions for each meal and then like have little snacks. And when I tell you, everyone likes to go on social media. Look, this is my personal experience, so I'm not going to speak for anybody else. So when I go on social media and I see people doing these little meal plans, they're like, this is so fun. Not for me. I thought that was the worst experience. I literally thought I was going to go depressed. Like I was like, yo, Dylan, bruh. And mind you, everyone's body works very differently.
It does. What works for one person might not work
for
the next.
For me, like, and Dill, as long as I'm staying like super active and working out, I really don't feel like I've actually found that eating like super healthy and maintaining like this like restricted meal plan that I'm supposed to stick actually makes me really bloated and makes me like not feel good. And my body, my mental space doesn't feel good. My body doesn't feel good. So I started realizing that for me, making sure that I drink like a lot of water within my day is super, super important for me. And then having portion control is what's kind of my main thing. So it's like
you can eat your Twinkie.
It's
probably not gonna be able to eat a lot.
Exactly. So if you eat a Twinkie, just know that like, all right,
it just balances out with that activity and then
exactly. So it's like, oh, go run that Twinkie off. No, like seriously, you really can run that Twinkie off, and then you're able to kind of catch back up on what you need after that or whatever, however you want to do it. We like to work out in the morning, so we're kind of like done with the day. But so kind of figuring, I would say for people, like everyone's always looking for someone else to tell them what they need to do with their body. And only you really know how your body works. It's wise to gain wisdom about foods and how things work. And that's wise. But I don't think that you need to specifically find somebody and be like, tell me exactly what you do with your body so I can do it with my body. Because it's not going to work like that. Like if you find a trainer or somebody that can say this is what you need to do for your body,
that's why I think
it's different.
Trainers are great because trainers do things like for you. It's not like you're mimicking what the trainer does for themselves. Exactly. They create a plan for you.
So so I would say the biggest thing is gaining an awareness of what it means to be healthy for yourself. And kind of out there in the world, like what does that really mean? Like, you know,
because we don't have to all be carbon copies of each other. Yes. Like we don't all have to sit here and then look exactly the same like people want to try to believe we have to do.
And then just making sure that you make that a lifestyle. Make that like really try to put in an effort to make that your lifestyle.
A part of your lifestyle.
It's not something that you have to force or that you have to just think like, oh my God, I only get to eat this much today, or no, it's just like
I would say
I'm doing this.
Dylan's advice is to just be like a little active, like in every day. So it's like
going to walk,
at least 6 times a week, because I have days where I don't do anything. So, but like to at least try to like be as active as possible. You know what I'm saying? Like get up, like walk around the house.
Walking around the mall, that's activity.
Walking around the mall, like just like some kind of activity, not just like sitting around all day watching Netflix and chilling, as great as that can be. But just a little bit of activity. I think that one thing that I would advise, like whenever like young girls, because a lot of young girls will ask me like, hey, what do you do? Like, da, 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 da. And I'm very flattered. I'm very, very flattered by that. But I can't, like Dakota said, I can't specifically tell them like, well, I eat this and I do this and da da da, because my body works differently. And then like ab workouts is another thing. So like that's pretty much
by ab workouts.
Live by like ab workouts and cardio, because cardio, unless you want like some tone here and there, it's really not hard to like look up some like arm routine push-ups, man. Like seriously, it's like really simple stuff. You don't have to be in a weight room. You could really do this stuff at home.
Right. You could just do some push-ups.
Do some push-ups.
You know?
My mom would always be like 100 push-ups or 50 push-ups, 100 sit-ups a night.
Yeah.
And then that would just kind of be like it. Do. You just lay down like before you go to bed, and you just like, I can do 100 crunches. All right.
Just get down there and start doing it.
Yeah.
And go wash up and go to bed.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be like this big crazy thing. Just a little activity.
I would say that definitely gaining, so we're like, our bullet points here, gaining an awareness of health, of like, what foods we should be taking in, what's good for our body. Because it's not bad to have like, a Twix every now and then, or if you're feeling it, or you want a cookie. If
you saw my kitchen, you'd be like, you guys.
Look, you're right. Well, look, my mom, she's like the worst. She's the reason why we actually are the way we are when it comes to like workout anxiety. But she also is like the reason why we like junk food so much. So it kind of goes both ways.
Different kinds of Doritos. And
so it's like it's totally cool. It's totally cool to have those things in, but be aware of your portions. You know what I mean? You don't want to just be taking that all back, like
just balance. That's it. That's my advice. Balance.
Yeah, there you go.
Balance. Just a good balance of all.
Whoa. But if you really are looking to like completely transform your body, just stay committed to it. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a grind.
Patience.
But stay committed to it, and then like I kind of said earlier, just make it a lifestyle to sort of maintain that after that.
One step at a time. Doesn't gotta be too drastic. If you do too drastic, you quit. You'll crash.
Tried that
into a freaking
didn't
wall.
work.
That's what happened with the vegetarian thing. I was like, I can't do it. So if you try to make too drastic of changes too soon,
kudos to everybody that switched to vegetarianism, because that was so hard. I was like, I need chicken.
Yeah, I pretty much lasted about a week.
Yeah, Dylan didn't last long. I was kind of proud of myself for those 2 months.
Actually, it was probably about 2 weeks, but still, it's just not good.
So can you guys tell the world where they can find and connect with you at, and any upcoming events or projects that you have that people should look out for?
Yeah. So I think that one of the places that, you'll definitely probably see us the most active on is Instagram. Mine is Miss Dill, MISS_DYL. Dakota's is Miss Kota with 3 S's, MISSS_KOTA. And Snapchats, our Snapchats are the same as our Instagrams. And then Twitter, we have a shared Twitter, which is 2 Gons.
It's like 2 Roman numeral I's.
So it's II Gons
_.
II Gons _. Yeah. It's our Twitter handle. And that's pretty much where you're going to be like the most updated. We do have a lot of projects and things coming out, so we're very excited. Visually, musically, website.
We're actually looking out
to website coming out.
We're looking to put out a mixtape, and it's going to be like a very long,
elaborate mixtape. We're excited. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a collection. It's going to be a lot of music.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
So we're excited. And those are kind of, we don't have any specific dates for those right now. We're working on just getting all the audio done, and then working on a couple of visuals. And once we kind of know when we're going to drop those, it'll probably be closer to the summertime. But we'll definitely, like, keeping up with us on our social medias. We'll be putting updates out and making sure everybody knows kind of what's going on.
Okay. Well, I thank you guys for your time. I truly appreciate it. This has been one of your lengthy interviews, and I'm excited to have you. And I see nothing but great things. You guys are amazing. Keep grinding, keep doing what you're doing, and you guys check them out.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks, Dylan and Dakota, for coming on my show today. I truly appreciate it. Make sure you guys subscribe to KatHarveySNL on YouTube, and make sure you follow them both and stay tuned with their new upcoming musical projects.